I had always felt like there was something off about me, something I couldn't quite explain. Growing up, people often said I looked different, as if a shadow followed me everywhere. My parents rarely talked about it, but there was always a strange silence when I asked about my birth or family history. One rainy afternoon, while rummaging through the attic of our old house, I stumbled upon a dusty wooden chest hidden under a pile of old blankets. Curiosity got the better of me, and I pulled it out, opening the creaking lid. Inside, there were a few faded photographs, some baby clothes, and an old leather-bound diary. The diary had my name on it, but the handwriting was unfamiliar, shaky and uneven, as if written by a child. My heart pounded as I flipped through the pages. The diary belonged to someone named Ethan, my twin brother who, according to my parents, died at birth. But this diary was filled with desperate, eerie messages, entries about being trapped, feeling forgotten, and wanting to be seen again. The words sent chills down my spine. The last page was especially disturbing, a plea for someone to give me back my life. I felt a cold wave wash over me. How could a dead brother write such things? I questioned my sanity, but couldn't shake the feeling that Ethan's story was far from over. That night, strange things began happening. I heard faint whispers in the dark, and glimpsed a shadow in the mirror that wasn't mine. The diary had opened a door to something I didn't want to face, but couldn't ignore after discovering Ethan's diary. My life spiraled into something I couldn't explain or control. At first, it was small things. Footsteps echoing in empty hallways, cold drafts brushing against my skin when no windows were open. But soon, the haunting became impossible to ignore. Every night, I'd hear whispering voices calling my name, soft at first, then louder and more desperate. The air around me grew heavy and suffocating, and shadows seemed to flicker just beyond the edges of my vision. The more I tried to dismiss it as my imagination, the stronger the presence became. One night, I woke up to find the old wooden toy from Ethan's chest lying on my bedroom floor. I never kept toys in my room, so how did it get there? The room was freezing cold, my breath visible in the air. Then, as I stared into the mirror across the room, I saw it, a pale, ghostly figure standing behind me. My reflection smiled back at me, but the figure's eyes were hollow, filled with sorrow and rage. I spun around, but no one was there. From that moment on, the encounters increased. Doors slammed shut by themselves, lights flickered, and objects moved when I wasn't looking. It felt like Ethan was trying to communicate, desperate to make his presence known. But why? What did he want? One evening, I heard footsteps pacing just outside my bedroom door. The knocking started, slow at first, then frantic. When I opened the door, no one was there, only a chilling silence. But etched on the wall was a message in that same shaky handwriting from the diary. I want my life back. The line echoed in my mind, haunting me day and night. Was Ethan trying to come back? Was he trapped somewhere between life and death, waiting for me to give him a chance? The fear was overwhelming. But beneath it was something more, a strange sadness, a brotherly connection I couldn't sever. I knew I had to face this, but I had no idea how the haunting grew worse with each passing night. I couldn't sleep, eat, or even think straight. Ethan's presence wasn't just a ghost story anymore. It was real, relentless, and terrifying. The messages on the walls, the cold touches in the dark, the mirrors showing his hollow eyes, all pointed to one terrifying truth. My twin brother wanted to come back, and he wanted my life. I desperately searched for answers. Old books on spirits, local legends, anything that could help me understand what was happening. One evening, an old family friend revealed a chilling secret. When twins are born but one dies, sometimes their souls remain linked, unable to move on until they reclaim their lost life. Ethan's spirit was trapped in a limbo, trying to take over mine to escape his prison. Faced with this nightmare, I realized the choice I had to make. I could either surrender my life to Ethan, letting him return to the living world and leaving me trapped in darkness, or fight to keep what was mine, risking everything to banish him forever. That night, I stood alone in my room, clutching Ethan's diary and the old toy from the chest. I whispered his name, begging for peace, for release. Suddenly, the room went cold, and his ghostly form appeared, more solid than ever, eyes pleading but fierce. "Give me back my life," he said, voice hollow but desperate. "No," I whispered. "You're gone. This is my life now." He screamed, a sound that shook the walls and rattled my soul. We battled in a silent war of wills. Him trying to possess me fighting to hold on to my own identity. The mirror shattered, glass cutting to the darkness as I yelled for him to leave. Then, in a final, heartbreaking moment, he smiled sadly and whispered, "Thank you," before fading away, his spirit finally free. The house grew still, the shadows retreated, and the weight lifted from my chest. I wasn't alone anymore, but I was safe. Yet, sometimes when I look in the mirror, I wonder if he's really gone, or just waiting for another chance.